Wait a minute, I hear something.
Dr. Movie! Dr. Movie! Blueberry News! Dr. Movie! Dr. Movie! Yeah!
Hey kids! Hey, remember that in the early to mid 90s we were getting a little scared because video games were getting too realistic? Yeah, me either. But yeah, that's kind of the premise behind our movie for today, which is Brainscan from 1994. I saw this back when it came out, and I still stand behind this flick. I think the originality of it still works. It's from 94, like we said. It's a horror / sci-fi flick, and I don't know. I think it really works for the time, and kind of enjoyed the rewatching it actually. So I know this is where myself and Danny kind of split hairs. I don't think he's a fan of this one, but I don't know. There's something about this I like because you kind of get a host of this program called Brainscan that is a 90s virtual reality, horror game. And it's got this mascot, or, like I said, named Trickster, which I don't know if, I think the band came before this movie, so, oh well. Nothing really to say about that. But he's kind of like a combination of Sammy Kerr, Lance Hendrickson, Rawhead Rex, and Max Headroom. I don't know. I got things out of all of those. And maybe Tommy Lee. 90s Tommy Lee, where he's got the nose ring and the hairdo. It's kind of that same thing. So yeah, I mean, he might have been the influence for this now that I think about it, because he even kind of dresses like him. Let's talk about this. Let's see. Synopsis says horror films and computer games fascinate teenager Michael, and the CD-ROM that portrays murder from the killer's point of view combines these interests. Yeah, I mean that's what it is. It's a CD-ROM that he gets. He orders it out of Fangoria, and leads him down a bad path. Let's see. Directed by John Flynn. The dude he directed Rolling Thunder. If you don't know Rolling Thunder, you will if you keep watching this show or listening to this show, because that's going to be coming up really soon. It's man, what a movie. One of my favorites, actually. Let's see. Do we have a why to watch? Yes. Why to watch? It's disturbing, paranoid, and ambiguous. Ambiguous? I don't know. I thought it was pretty straightforward. Brainscan is a charming little horror film with tons of appeal and atmosphere. Boot this one up. I couldn't agree more. I think this one is just different enough. And the problem is when it came out, because 94, there was not much going on. When our idea of a horror movie was like Shocker. So, I think that kind of hurt everything. And in a movie called Brainscan, does it really have the appeal, right? So, Brainscan is a well-conducted horror film that should be seen by fans who enjoy something different. Bingo. On the money. That's the way I feel about it too. It's different enough to make you go, all right, we're treading different territory here. Because you pop in this CD-ROM game and you become a killer in a giallo. It's a POV black glove killer kind of thing. And I don't know, it works for me. Overall, Brainscan isn't an awful movie and does showcase some interesting ideas here and there. Yeah, again, show me something different, right? That's the name of the game. And I really feel that way about this one. Let's talk about our cast. Our main character, Michael, is Edward Furlong. Possibly my favorite role of Eddie Furlong. Terminator 2. We've got T. Ryder Smith. I don't know of anything else he's been in. Let's take a look-see. The Venture Brothers? That's pretty cool. But nothing much else there to talk about. Frank Langella. Come on. Who doesn't love Frank Langella? Skeletor for all you Masters of the Universe kids. The movie. The canon flick. Frank Langella to me will always be the late 70s, early 80s Dracula. I think it's more 70s. In the British remake of Dracula with Laurence Olivier. It's stellar cast. I thought he was a great Dracula because he had that suave kind of thing about him. I love that version of Dracula. Scared the crap out of me. Amy Hargraves is Kimberly, which is the love interest. What else has she been in? Blue Ruin. That's kind of it that I know. Maybe something that you know, but that's pretty much it as far as a cast to talk about. That's all you need to know. But yeah, you got Michael and his best friend. I don't really see him on here, but they're teens in the 90s, listening to cyberpunk, cyber metal. That's kind of their jam. Big horror fans. And I have to tell you, this computer system that Michael has, Eddie Furlong, it's pretty impressive because it's almost a Siri type system where he can just yell out and the TV and everything will respond. And this is in '94, so. But his best friend calls him up and says, "Hey, have you seen this thing in Fangoria? Brainscan." And so he ends up calling and ordering the first disc. Actually, he never even orders the disc. It just shows up. And he starts playing the game. And the first game, he goes into, it's got a voice that's telling you, like it's inside your head, of where to go and what to do. Go to the gate, turn right, go upstairs. And in this game, he ends up killing this guy in his bedroom. And it's pretty gruesome. And then when he's leaving there, he snaps out of it and wakes up, and he's like, "Whoa!" That was the most intense thing I've ever done. He said, because it felt real. He was shaking, right? And so he's already blown away. And lo and behold, on the news the next day, when he goes over to see the girl that kind of catches his eye, he ends up spying on her a lot. She lives next door, but she knows he's watching. So she's doing things to get him to watch, but she's also watching him, but they're just too shy and too much of teenagers to say anything to each other. She's at the point of like taking her shirt off and stuff. So at first you're like, man, Eddie Furlong was just a little, peeping Tom here. But she's kind of egging it on too. So he goes over there to talk to her about going to a party together. And while he's standing there nervously with her parents, the news comes on and it shows a picture of the guy that was murdered in his house, and it's the guy that was in the game. So he starts freaking out because he's convinced that he did it. And Frank Langella keeps seeing Eddie Furlong pop up because every time the cops are investigating something, Edward just happens to stop by, or Michael. And, Frank Langella's character is like, hey, Do you know these people? No. Then you need to leave. You don't need to be here, right? So he's already suspicious of him. And it kind of leads to, Frank Langella's character putting it all together and coming back to Michael's house and questioning things. Well, the reason why is because the further he gets into the game, he doesn't decide that he wants to play the game anymore. And that's when Trickster pops in. And he just pops up. Lawnmower Man-ish style, right? Just ba-dink, there he is. Max Headroom on your TV or whatever. But he comes out of the TV and stuff. He's kind of, like I said, a Sammy Kerr. And look, you can't do anything else until you finish this game. So that's the whole point of Trickster being there, is to egg him on to keep finishing and telling him what to do, what not to do. And it's driving him more and more insane as it goes along, because more and more murders are happening, and he ends up having to knock off his best friend because he knows too much. And so it really just starts, spiraling out of control. And again, it's this being trapped in a game and you're being forced to finish it regardless. And it also leads down to, as this movie keeps going on, and the whole game focuses on your fears. It taps into your psyche and knows what you're afraid of, and it plays on that. It tries to pull you in and then terrify you, right? And it just gets way out of hand, to the point to where he's having to kill people that he cares about because they might know something, right? So you get this investigation going on. There's a whole scene where at the first person that he kills, he cuts his foot off for creativity. And the game tells him to keep it in a safe place. Well, the next morning when he wakes up and he's doing his daily stuff, he looks in the freezer and lo and behold, there's the foot. So he tries to go out and get rid of the foot, and while he's out there, the neighbor's dog starts following him, which is pretty hilarious because the dog has got the foot from him and takes off with it, and it's trying to run back to its master. It's taking him out for a walk. So you got all this back and forth with the dog, which I think is good, right? Because you're right at the beginning and it's almost given away, and you're like, oh no, is he gonna have to kill the neighbor, or the dog, and like I said, it just spirals out of control. It's well thought out. I have to give this credit. I mean, I think this thing holds up. You could remake this now with all the virtual reality stuff, and I think you could make a really good movie out of this. And so again, I have to give it credit, especially for the time that it came out in the originality. The Trickster character is fun. He's a trickster, and by the end of it, you kind of get a Nightmare on Elm Street 2 kind of feel, right? Because there's a battle between Trickster and Michael, where you find out. He even remember I don't know if you remember it, but there's a scene in the Taking of Deborah Logan where she opens up her mouth and like swallows a person. Well, Trickster does it first. You've got the guinea pig scene from V, where our main the main alien opens up her mouth and swallows a whole guinea pig, and then there's this, and then there's Deborah Logan. Again, this has got some, and the thing about it, yes, they are kind of shoddy CGI, especially for the time, but it kind of works with the character because you're dealing with the video game age of 1994. So the effects look like what you expect a video game to look like at that point. So I don't know, it kind of works. To my thinking, I may be wrong, but I don't want to give away the ending. But there's an internal battle and there's a battle to try to save the people that he cares about. So, you know, kind of trick-or-treat-ish, like I said, with Sammy Kerr. I say give this one a chance, man. I like it. I really do. I love the whole aspect of this game, shaking somebody to the core, and be careful what you ask for because you just might get it, right? I mean, that's kind of the whole scenario here of, are you really that infatuated with being a horror fan? Because, you know, can you go too far with it? And it really plays off of that, just in the 90s video CD-ROM age. It's, I don't know, I think it's a good flick. I think it's saying a lot. And like I said, I give it a 4 out of 5. I like this one, I really do. And you should check it out. It is on Tubi. Don't miss it. So, hey, if you're a fan of this one, let me know. If you disagree with me on this one, you can let me know. Just let me know something. All right, folks, that's it for this one. Hope you have a good one. We will check you later.
Dr. Lupe!